An exoskeleton, powered by brainwaves to help the paralyzed walk again. That's the difference between practicing medicine and leading it. Houston Methodist, lead.
The latest work is Jose Contreras-Vidal at the University of Houston. And what they've done there is, following on some previous work that he and his colleagues have done, is to use EEG, which is measuring the signals from the brain at the scalp as opposed to using an implant in the brain, and using those signals as a means of operating bionic legs. And in this case, where they're hoping the work will lead with some trials that are coming up with disabled people, is to get those people to think about walking. The cap that detects these signals will transmit those signals wirelessly to the legs, and the legs will respond accordingly.
So why has this been so much of a challenge? From what I understand, there has been some research for a while now which has enabled people to use such EEG caps, for instance, to control a pinball machine or to fly a virtual helicopter in 3 dimensions. Why is walking more difficult?
Well, walking involves an awful lot of the brain. It may seem a fairly simple exercise and maybe something you don't think about, but there's decision making, there's motor reflexes, there's a number of things going on. Now, it has been possible before to use implants in the brain to measure this electric activity. But by using a cap with the EEG probes on, you can obviously do that without an intrusive operation.
Now, so far as I understand, the implants, they provide a very rich signal of what exactly is going on in the brain. However, they carry with them certain risks, for instance, the risk of an infection getting in through the implant. Plus, it's obviously a very intrusive way to gauge brain activity. And electroencephalography, EEG, which is the technology that Skull Cap uses, is much less intrusive and therefore perhaps much more broadly applicable.
Yes, it has, and what they've done in Houston is to be able to reduce the number of electrodes that they need to actually pick up these signals. I mean, you're using a second-hand signal, if you like, as opposed to the ones you're measuring directly from the brain. They've used 30 or more electrodes in the past.
Steve, are you ready? We're going to put this right over your head.
Steve Holbert was paralyzed in a dirt bike accident in 2009.
Well, hope is to walk again, to get complete recovery from a spinal cord injury.
That helps to improve the signal-to-noise ratio.
Neuroengineer Jose Luis Contreras-Vidal is researching brain-machine interface, collecting information about how Steve intends to move through as few as 12 non-invasive sensors that detect brain signals escaping the scalp. Contreras-Vidal's interface would let Steve control the exoskeleton legs with his own thoughts.
So that next time we can use that information to go straight from the brain to the robot. What we are now addressing is what's the best way to allow this close interaction between the machine and the human body and the brain, right? How we share the control, going from the machine to the brain and the other way around.